How's it going, everybody? My name is Bo, and I'm a home theater and movie enthusiast. But one thing I'm not is a speaker enthusiast. And by that I mean I just never really paid attention to all the different speaker brands, model numbers, technologies. I just never really got into that. I don't buy speakers that often. I mean, I went from 2007 to 2022 before I replaced my LCRs. So, not very often do I buy speakers, but when I do, I just simply look at ones within my price range and I try to find the best to suit my needs within that price range. Um, in my history, I've had very good success, except the last time I bought my LCRs. I started with Polks, didn't work out. Had to go to Focals and spent way more than I wanted to. But anyway, long story short, I don't really pay attention to that stuff. I couldn't name you one model number of any speaker right now besides the Focals that I have and some subwoofers, the SVS line. Other than that, I just don't really care. And I say that to set up this video because this video is about me building a subwoofer box. It's a replica of a SVS PB-3000. And I started this back in March 2024, if you're watching this in the future. And I was never intended to make a video out of it because I really didn't know what I was doing. I had a plan, but I wasn't sure how it was going to turn out. But what I did do was every time I'd make a little progress, I would record like a minute and a half, 2 minute vlog, basically giving an update on my progress. And then I posted it to the Build Montage Discord group. So shout outs to Tony and the guys over there. Great community. And I think I had about 17 of those clips total over the course of the build. And you know what? I was just kind of rewatching those. And even though they were never intended to be a whole video, I thought, it'd be interesting to basically show my journey through basically mini vlogs and just put them all together. I put a little fade to black in between each one and a date of recording in the bottom left corner so you can kind of see the timetable. And, I thought it, kind of still works as its own video. So that's what this is going to be. I wanted to do this introduction though to kind of set it up because it's, I'm talking directly to like the Build Montage Discord group with each update for those that were like, paying attention. So, just know that going in. It's about 17 and a half minutes of that footage. So we'll get right into that and then I'll come back and give you my thoughts now that it's been months since I finished. So yeah, let's get to it. Say hello to my brand new PB-3000 subwoofer, SVS. It's so new though, it's not even finished. But actually I'm just trying to build a replica. I got an extra woofer and amp board, so I thought I would attempt to build one. Obviously I gotta cut the sides. I must have messed up when I made all my cuts, but that's not a big deal. Got the subwoofer cut out. I gotta have started the bracing yesterday, but the problem I'm having is finding 3.5-inch ID port tubes. I thought that would be something easy, but apparently it's impossible to find. So I might have to buy some clear acrylic tubing, which I have to wait for. But other than that, I also can't find like a good place for the packing inside, the white insulation. But I'm gonna have about $400 to $500 in materials into this, and it's a $1,600 subwoofer. So hopefully I get it finished and it sounds all right. It'll be well worth it. Well, I got all the pieces cut. This is the port tube brace, back panel, front panel, starting to look like a subwoofer. Got the holes drilled. Got these, this is 1/4-inch MDF. Then I'm going to router this inside edge to look like the port, like they have it. As you can see, I used some thread inserts on the inside, so it wasn't just screwed into the MDF. Yeah, the bottom and the top, the sides, and then this is the woofer brace that the magnet sits in. So yeah, I'm just waiting for the acrylic tube so I can do the port tubes and get her glued together. A lot of work, but it's looking pretty good right now. So here's a look at the PB-3000 replica. Doesn't look much further than the last time I showed it, but I did a lot of work. It's all pieces are 100% finished, ready to be glued. I just need the acrylic tubes to use as my port tubes. They're on back order. I don't know when they'll be here, but I got everything prepped. As you can see, I got the support for the back of the tubes in there. I got some 45-degree wedges to go along the top and the bottom just to help reinforce, and then wedges on the front and back of each panel just for support. That's what the SVS one has in their OEM build, so I'm going to replicate it. And yeah, just can't wait to get those tubes and get this thing glued together so I can finish it. So I finally got an update. I got my tubing. I had to switch sources. This is actually for feeding pigs. It's from a farm supply company, but it's exactly what I needed. So what I have, painted it just so it looked dark. Painted the insides a little bit and then the outsides, and then I sealed them off so no air can escape. Basically, the only air is going to go into the port, back, and out the front. And then I put rubber around and some black caulk just to make sure it's sealed, and then the front piece goes on, and there we go. So I'm gonna get gluing here in a second, but yeah, this is very exciting, and I'm glad I finally got the tubing, so can't wait to show it next. So here's the present status of the subwoofer. I didn't have enough clamps, and the glue dries too fast for me to like glue everything and do the whole sub at once. So only the front, the magnet support, the port tube support, and the left side are actually glued down. And I wanted to have, ample clamps to hold that down. Made sure it was square, and then made sure the corners were flush. So this is, the front pieces got pressure down and sideways, squeezing it to this. So I still have the right side and the back and the top to do. So I'm just gonna do it in increments. So by Sunday night, should be all glued together, doing some preliminary sanding. So yeah, this is a lot of work. All right, here we have a mostly glued together PB-3000. I got the front port exits radius. It's hard to tell. It looks like a glazed donut right now, but once it's painted, it's going to be a different color than the rest of the sub. I think it's going to look good, but there you can see the magnet support for the woofer, the supports for the port tubes. Got all the little wedge, 45-degree wedge pieces in for support. They go on the full length on the bottom and the top, and the back piece, which I had done like first thing, but there you can see the ports. But yeah, even with 19 clamps, I had to glue like 2 pieces on at a time. Wait, and I got to glue this whole front on. That's gonna kind of hold everything in the front together. But yeah, it's looking good, and I can't wait to finish it. So since the last video, I've glued the top on after I put in the sound insulation polyfiber, and I had just sanded every side with 120, 220, and I have to glue the face on, which is, it was a little short on the bottom, so I glued on a little extra piece, which I'm going to trim off with my router. It has an edging tool. So once I get the woofer in place, I got to draw a line, make sure the front piece is lined up nice with the ports, and then glue it down. And then once I do that, I'm going to do 1.25 inch radius on all the long edges. And yeah, but If you don't have all the tools, I think I have almost $200 in tools I had to end up buying to make this thing the way I wanted to. So yeah, it's been a lot of work, probably 50, 60 hours, and you got to have the time, you got to have the space, you got to have the tools. Well, here's the closest this sub has been to being done. The front piece is not glued down. It's oversized. I got to get it closer. I had to glue on a little extra piece for a couple of reasons. One, I had a gouge I wanted to fill, and it was a little short. So now it's overhanging, which I can trim with my router. But yeah, it's feeling pretty good to be this far along. Obviously, I still got, when I glue that down, then I trim it, and then I'm going to router the long edges with a 1.25" router bit, and then sand it, seal it, and prime it, and then I'll start testing after that. But yeah, it's getting pretty exciting. What's up, gents? So I got the box pretty much finished, other than I want to do some wood filler just to fill some of these cracks like that I can't feel. So once I prime, I don't think I'll be able to see it, but there's some spots where I can get my fingernail in. So I just want to go through it with some wood filler, sand it one more time, and then seal it so I can prime it. But it's looking pretty good with those corner radiuses on there. That was quite the task. My garage was just covered in sawdust, so I had to spend like an hour cleaning afterwards. And I'm exhausted, so I'm not going to do any more tonight, but I'm going to pick up the wood filler tomorrow, and just over the course of next week, just do the sealer on it and sanding and stuff, and get it primed, and then decide how I'm going to finish it. But you know, I got the amp board and the woofer, power cable, and the speaker wire sitting here, so it's getting close, and I'm pretty excited. So I had a epiphany, and I thought, well, let me take the PB-3000 replica box and set it next to the PB-1000, and yeah, it's quite a bit bigger, especially the woofer. But I was watching a couple episodes of The Expanse last night, and I thought the bass sounded incredible as is with this and my two SB-3000s in the front. So I'm not sure what to expect from this beast, and it's huge, so I don't know. I guess if it's not a monumental improvement, I may just end up selling this. We'll see, though. I really don't know what to expect. Update on the PB-3000 replica build. It's been, feels like a week. What I've done is actually put some screws just to secure all the boards. Are 2-inch finishing screws, which have a reverse thread at the last 1/2 inch, so it pulls really tight and holds firm. So I took a couple days to fill, let that dry, and then sand seal the whole thing and get it ready, sanded and stuff for primer, which is about to go on right now. So this is the last time we'll see it, this natural MDF wood color. It's about to be all gray. Well, actually, I'm just going to paint the bottom and then put the feet in so that I can paint the rest. But next time you see it, it'll be all gray. And then, yeah, we'll see how it looks. So this is after 2 light coats of primer. And I also painted this the color match of the wall color in my theater room. It's just the bottom, you're never gonna see it. I might roller paint over it because it's not quite an exact match, but I put in the thread inserts with a little Gorilla Glue, and then I'm gonna put the rubber feet on, flip it over. But I did paint all the sides but the top. Ran out of primer, which I don't know why I thought I was able to do it with one, but yeah, we'll see how it goes with this. I'm going to let it dry 24 hours, and then I'm going to attempt to roller paint with a foam brush the wall color in my theater room and see how it goes. But yeah, it definitely looks way better just gray like this. So we'll see you on the next update. Well, even with just the primer and just like a real quick spray of the port openings, I didn't mask it off perfectly because I'm going to have to paint. I mean, I don't have to, but I'm going to, because this gray is just not going to match in the theater room, but it looks pretty damn good. But I'll share the audio advice shot of the inside again, just so you can kind of see where I got basically all the information that I needed from. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Few little crevices, but other than that, you know, it's looking pretty good. I almost wish I had more of the color match from My Perfect Color. It's not a perfect match, honestly, with the roll-on paint, but it would have been a better option than trying to roll on paint. So we'll see. I'll let you guys know. Well, here we have a finished product minus installing the woofer and the amp board, but I got it painted, even though it looks gonna look similar to, you know, the primer, even though it's quite a bit different. But the roll-on paint looks pretty nice, and I'm possibly gonna put like a lacquer or something over it. I'm not sure. I'm gonna do some testing, but I'm happy with how this looks, and I'm going to leave it for 3 to 5 days. And I was thinking maybe put some tree wax or something for wood, just a thin layer, just so that, you know, prevent the foam from sticking. I could install it like right away, but I'm not sure. I'm in no hurry, and yeah, that's all I got. It's been a long project, and I'm happy with how it looks. We'll see how it sounds in a few days. Well, look at what we have here, and Edge of Tomorrow. Might as well start it off the right way. And this is hooked to my old line that was EQ'd heavily and like under 40 hertz. It was really cut down, so even so, I still could feel and hear that, but definitely being it's not its true potential, but I just wanted to get it in place, and I just level matched it with the old one, and it looks good. It's huge, and I don't know exactly on the placement. I'm going to do measurements, but I'd like it to be so it's not overlapping that column. But yeah, over a month, and it looks good. It's heavy, and can't wait to get her dialed in. Thought I'd do a comparison with the old sub. I just set it in place just to get a size comparison. I got Blade Runner 2049 starting, but significant size difference. I really like the color, even though it still looks kind of bright because it hasn't settled in. Once it ages, it'll get darker like the rest of the wall, but yeah, it's significantly larger. And the good news so far is there's no rattling coming from the box. And I probably should turn motion stability off. I don't know if that'll hide some of this. No, but even with the EQ like really killing the frequencies below 40, this still sounds pretty loud, and I got it cranked up, so. All right, so now that you've seen the subwoofer build through those vlogs, I just want to give my thoughts on the project and the results. So it was a lot of work. I didn't keep track of it, but I want to say between 60 and 80 hours of my personal time. Um, so it was quite a bit of work, and the end result was, I mean, phenomenal. Like, not, this isn't just pat myself on the back, because basically I just made as close to the SVS subwoofer, the actual PB-3000, as I could. And as far as the dimensions, the outer dimensions I got from SVS official site, and the inner dimensions, the port, the length of the port tubes and stuff, I got from Audioholic's in-depth review. And there's photo of the inside, and so I think I built it really close. It's about 10 pounds lighter than the official one. So I don't know where I went wrong there. I used the same thickness MDF and all that, but either way, it was a fun build, but it was also a lot of work, to the point where I was like, I don't know if I want to do that again. Even though I have another amp and another woofer, I could make another one. It was just a lot of work. But the end result is I got a $1,700 subwoofer for $574, and I'm just amazed at how good it sounds. And not just, I'm just assuming it's very close to the official SVS PB-3000, because like I said, I built it within almost exact specs and used their amp and subwoofer, so just judging it, like I said, assuming it's very close to the actual PB-3000, this thing rocks. I still, to this day, it's September 10th, 2024, finished it on April 17th. I still have not reran REW or taken a single measurement, because as soon as I hooked it up and did my first test, which was edged tomorrow, everything I've played, it sounds incredible, and sounds way better than my old PB-1000. The rumble in this couch for like Dune Part 2 especially is just amazing. Now maybe there's some extra juice I'm missing by not rerunning REW. At some point I probably will, just because, but I'm just been so happy with every single thing I've watched. Every demo, every movie just blew me away. So I really don't have any reason to mess with it. I'm worried about messing something up. So but anyway, for me, it really worked out. The bigger woofer, the ported sub in the back, for me, gives me great tactile response in my couch. When I had my friends here check out the video where my friends reacted to my theater room, they were talking about how they're getting a massage while they're watching a movie, because that's how good the tactile bass is. So overall, I'm very glad I did it. It was a lot of work, but the best thing about it, besides the sound upgrade, is that I painted it the same color as my room. It blends in great. It looks good. I think having a big, black subwoofer box back there just kind of looks out of place. Even though the couch is black and the front wall, it just blends together really nice. And overall, very happy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. Any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments below. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.